Hey everybody, this is Secret of Secrets, and I'm here with my review of ROH's Best in the World 2011. This is my first YouTube pay-per-view review, so we'll see how it goes. And also, this is my first ROH pay-per-view review ever. It was actually my first ROH pay-per-view I ever bought, so I was really excited. It's only $15, definitely worth the $15. Even if I had to pay $40, it's still worth something. It's still worth it. The last three matches were worth about $40 in itself, and I get exposure to some different type of wrestling that I'm not used to, and it was really good. I've been watching wrestling for 13 years, and within the last 3 or 4 years, I've been kind of exploring other types of wrestling out there. Shimmer kind of being my first, really independent stuff I really wanted to look at, and I fall in love with Shimmer. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to buy any of their DVDs lately, but it's definitely, if you have extra money around, it's great to see great women's wrestling. Something that mainstream wrestling is sorely missing, because there isn't a lot of great women's wrestling out there anymore for mainstreamers, and it's really sad because women can go out there and go. They're not just eye candy, and so it's good to see that every once in a while. So kind of the first match, Colt Cabana versus Tommaso Ciampa. I'm sure I butchered that name, but I really enjoyed this match. I like comedy matches, and it was kept on going. It was not too long, not too short. So to me, it was good for pretty much for what it was. I give it 2 stars and a quarter. Some people say I'm overrating it, but and my rating's a little weird, and some of these matches you might look and it's like, is he just stupid? No, it's just I base it off of how much I enjoyed it, and since I really enjoyed the Colt Cabana Tommaso Ciampa match, I rate it a little higher. So it's not really an unbiased. It's kind of biased how much I liked it, and actually that's secretly what most YouTube people do, either whether they know it or not. See, how much they enjoy the match and how much not, how much who was in the match, or how much they personally enjoyed it. The second match was the special challenge match number 2, the Prodigy Mike Bennett versus Jay Lethal. Now, see, this is kind of showing how much I really don't spend a lot of time looking in the dirt sheets or going online to look this stuff up. I didn't know Jay Lethal was released from TNA until I looked up this pay-per-view, and only 26 years old. I thought he was older than that. The guy's got a long career ahead of him, and it is sad that TNA released him, considering they still keep all the old timers around. What they need to do is get rid of all the old timers in TNA and replace them with new and up and coming talent. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not bashing on TNA. I've been entertained by TNA lately, but anyway, this was a pretty good match. I like the. It was a good tempo. Randy Savage homage Jay Lethal did. The ending wasn't all that good in my opinion. This was kind of like a super kick and the elbow drop, and that was it. But it's still a decent match. Oh, and the previous Colt Cabana Ciampa match, I didn't like that finish either. It was botched, and I was like, okay. And the cover wasn't even all that good. It's like, if you're gonna do a lousy finish, at least make the cover look decent. But anyway, third match, no holds barred, Homicide versus Rhino. I didn't really care for this match at all. A lot of it because it was like an ECW type match, and I really didn't care for it much. If you're gonna do that, it's just I just didn't care for it. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I just didn't personally like it. And the gore spot at the end, I've heard that they were supposed to Homicide's supposed to be gone for a while, but for someone who's a mainstream guy, you're watching it, it would have been nice, would have make Homicide look good if he got gored through the table and kicked out, out of that. But I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I just didn't particularly like it. The fourth match, which is the special challenge number 1 match, Steve Corino versus Michael Elgin. This was a really decent match, almost good in my opinion. I like Michael Elgin in the aspect that he doesn't look like much. He just looks kind of a short, stocky guy, but that guy's got a lot of power because Steve Corino's no lightweight, and he was manhandling him and did a lot of power moves, and I enjoyed the match. I like the whole idea that they're going with, using the Alcohol Anonymous knockoff of like, my name is Steve Corino and I'm a bad guy, or a bad person, or however they worded it. I like that. Of course, Kevin Steen came out, Mr. Wrestling. I've had heard of him, and it was just kind of like you didn't see it coming. Like he thought he was gonna turn face, and then he just said fuck ROH, and then he just killed Steve Corino with his pile driver. It was cool. I enjoyed it. So pretty much that was the kind of the weak part of the card right there. Those matches there, and they took a 15-minute intermission, and then you got pretty good awesomeness afterwards with the world title match with Christopher Daniels and El Generico. First time I've ever seen El Generico. I've heard of him. He's really good. I like what he does in ring personally, and I like that whole match, especially at the end when Christopher Daniels thought he hasn't won, and he puts he gets the title belt and stuff, and he was confident, and then it was almost it's like the Shawn Michaels thing with the Undertaker and the Ric Flair and the Shawn Michaels thing at those WrestleManias. It's like, why don't you just stay down? But instead of them actually winning, they end up losing. Daniels loses, and it was a really good match. I really liked it. 3.5 stars, but I know people graded it more, but it didn't really get me really involved in the whole thing. The next match, which is probably my most controversial rating, the 4-corner tag team elimination match. I gave it 3.5 stars. Not that if it was condensed. Now the match was really long. If they would have condensed that and make it 10 minutes shorter, this to me probably would have been a lot better, and I probably would have given it probably an extra star rating. But since it drug out so long, and it's just, and the finish kind of was not that great. You're gonna do a double spine buster for a finish. It wouldn't have been so bad except for the fact that the Kings of Wrestling, when they got to that point, were just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Haas and Benjamin, and they were kicking out of all their fantastic double team moves, and just for the world wrestling's greatest tag team to win with a crappy double team spine buster was kind of okay, but it was too long for me. It still was a really good match. 3.5 stars. I know people won't like it and say whatever they're gonna say, but the next match, main event match, I really enjoyed. Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards. I enjoyed this match. This had a lot of freaking awesome shit in it. The kicks that Davey Richards was hitting is oh my freaking god, are you kidding me? It was just unbelievable in the spots that they did, and especially the ending segments when they were helping each other up at the end. That was awesome. You can't get any better than this. I enjoyed this match as much as I enjoyed both the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker matches. Not saying something because I really loved those, and this was awesome. This alone was worth $15. I would probably pay $40 to see this match alone if I can only see this was awesome. I really enjoyed it. This was a really good pay-per-view, and it's going to be interesting to see what ROH is going to do. That now that they're going to be on TV. And I personally have one of the broadcast networks. It's Sinclair owned, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And competition's great, and I really hope that more people will tune into it. I heard more mainstream wrestling fans were at the show live, and that's great for ROH. To get more exposure and stuff like that. Like I said, really good. I know a lot of the ratings may not make sense to a lot of ROH fans, but what you gotta understand is that I'm mostly a mainstream wrestling fan, and I'm not, I'm not into really, those type of long drawn tag team matches. If it's gonna be a long match, to me, it can't be with, I didn't really care for it. Not that saying it wasn't a great match in its own, but I didn't really care for it. But it was a good show, and I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to be ordering more ROH pay-per-views, whether it's going to be internet or otherwise. So, and I hope this would be more. Hopefully, I'll do more reviews. If no one really likes it, it's okay. I understand people are gonna do what they're gonna do, but say what they're gonna say. But anyway, everyone have a wonderful night, day, whatever. Peace out.